Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Cashflow Digital, sponsored by Niche Website Builders. The link is below if you want to see what Niche Website Builders do have. But we are here today to answer your questions, whether that's link building related, PBN related, Mininet related, whatever you want to call it.
You know it's going to be slow this week because of daylight savings. This is the first time that I've remembered shit's going to be messed up in 3 years. Yeah.
So, guys,
I'm assuming that's why Mike is absent. Yeah. So post your questions.
Let us know if you are here. Afternoon, Thomas Oldham's here. Daylight savings or not, Thomas has arrived. Are you suffering from daylight savings, people? Let us know in the chat, but equally also give us your questions. Maeve, that rhymes with Dave, is here. Hey, peeps. Where is the boss? I'm here, Maeve. I'm here. What's up? How can I help you?
You misspelled bitch, Maeve.
Yeah. VA is not spelled like that.
The bitch is not here.
I'm going to message him and see where he is. Have you messaged him?
I texted him. Yeah, you can message him. I'll Skype him too.
Yeah. Oh man. Afternoon, David Pollard.
Nerdy. You said something about a dragon earlier. It confused me.
Yeah, I don't know. That just randomly popped up.
He popped, and that's before I saw the Facebook message. He sent me something about dragons in Skype too.
Oh man. And yeah,
I don't know.
Just hound the guy.
Too many toy videos for people.
What does
nerd rhymes with turd?
Turd.
Turdy Romero. That's his porn name. Don't ask why.
Oh man. But yeah, Turdy Romero. I like it.
I still need to record a video for Nerdy. He asked about that site generator that I had, and I have been busy.
Daniel Croft and Loud Egg. But we need questions, guys, because when Mike arrives, he's going to start fucking going off in one, talking all sorts of weird shit that he's found online. So
I did see an article that that it wasn't about online stuff, but it was about AI and how to properly use it. And it had me thinking about this, and it's how I usually use AI and bots and stuff like that. So back, rewind 40 years to like the beginning of the 80s, robotics and automation was huge. It was like AI is now, everyone's talking about it. Oh, all you need to do to boost your stock prices, mention that you're going to incorporate robotics or whatever. So they mentioned that GM did, they were bragging about a completely fully automated car manufacturing facility. So they called it the lights out facility. So they were going to just install these robots, turn the lights out, walk out, and it was just going to start spitting out cars. And it didn't work like that, of course. And then, decades later, Elon Musk tried to do the same thing with Tesla. He still couldn't get it done. And why not? Because you still need that human aspect of it. So they said the correct way, and I know you probably agree, but I want to see how you're using it. The correct way is to do a lot more with a lot less. In an automation setting, you can't get rid of all of the humans, but one guy can maybe run 3 or 4 of these robots at the same time, as opposed to one man per machine back in the day, or one man welding on roofs or anything like that. So they said, look at it from a perspective of use it as an extension of your company and a way to get people to be far, far more productive, which I think is the way to go, especially with the hiring crisis we're still going through at the moment, not being able to find workers. So I was just curious how you were incorporating AI into the people that work for you, because I know you actually have staff, and how you're using it, yourself in SEO activities.
Yeah, so I think obviously the time has come to embrace AI, and I think for me, we've got a kind of process where we can do more content a lot faster. We can do things at scale, but like you say, do we need all of these other VAs underneath the person that's in charge of this?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be trimming some of the weight off of certain people, and yeah, I think for me, it's also allowed me to grab some old domains that I never had time to go to. So I'm able to get a lot of time back and get a lot more done for my money and all that kind of stuff as well. So I think you've just got to embrace it. And I have sat long and hard about thinking about it. And it's difficult because you hear people like you saying, yeah, dude, I just shit fucking websites, and you ride every fucking algorithm update that's going on, and then there's people who do try and toe the line who get fucking shit all over. So I think you want to be somewhere in the middle, and you want to be using this as an assistant. Obviously, potentially maybe Quillbotting it, using Grammarly and various other bits and bobs. So I certainly would use it as an assistant. And I am able to currently get a lot more done for what I'm paying out, and can potentially reduce the staff levels. But it's not about reducing staff levels for me. It's just getting more shit done, more projects.
Yeah. The current staff that you have should be able to get more shit done with that. Yeah. That's how I would use it. Yeah, be more productive.
Dude, I've had domains that haven't had shit, and you'll be the same.
Yeah,
domains that have not had shit on them for like 10 years, and I keep fucking paying for them because they're good domains. I've just never had the.
Yeah, and they're rotting right now. Like if I assume you bought the domains and they've got links going to them, or did you just buy them because of the it's a TLD or a ELD or something?
Both. I've got some really good brandable domains, and I've also got a whole bunch of expired shit that I bought that I just fucking didn't do anything with. So
and you could set that up if you were able to set that up on some kind of dedicated server with different IPs and just blow that shit out. It would be fantastic. If each one of those has to bring in $10 a year, for you to pay for them, keep paying for them.
Exactly, and that's not a lot to try and achieve.
And it's it's less than one conversion a year is all it needs. And Mike and I have been automating networks a lot lately, or working with the team to do it. But I'm using it. Have you used the AI to start generating content plans for you, a structured, tiered content plan? That's what I love. That's fucking amazing. I was watching some guy on YouTube. And it's funny, he's showing prompts and stuff, and that's how I learned how to use it. And he's talking to Chat GPT like a male boss would talk to a female worker in the 30s, just shitty. He's like, it'll spit out something. He's like, that's not what I asked for. He's like, he types in, is that what I asked for? Question mark. And oh, sorry. And then they'll go in and fix it. I'm like, you can talk where's my dinner? It's the fuck. So.
But I had someone who owes me some money for something, and we wanted to send out the usual standard letter. It's got to be paid sometime soon. Or there's going to be legal problems, and ChatGPT wrote that letter as well. So you can use it for anything, but using it for social media and all that stuff as well, which is give me 10 motivational tweets that I can do relating to whatever niche, and it's just amazing to be able to do all of these things with it. But I've not told it to get my dinner on yet, put it that way.
Wow, that's how this dude was talking to it. It was hilarious. He's like, "Is that what I asked for?" They're like, "Sorry," and then they went back and you could see it's working on something new. So,
but more importantly, We've got Maeve, who scares me. Right, boys, just launched 2Age domains, rebuilt all the old posts. What's next? So what do you do next, Brad?
I would go out and look for the base content that you see people in your industry, like across the board, posting. So you get that base content. Now, I'll give an example. Recently, I grabbed a domain. It was an expired, like an auction style domain. I set it up, and they had very little content in Wayback. So I grabbed what I could, essentially spun it about us. Used some headlines, and it made it look like a legit site. So that was essentially what you're to the point now. So then it was addiction, of course. So I went out and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put a shit ton of content on it. I'm going to have this Indian fellow do all of this surfer content. It was just straight surfer, so it wasn't fantastic content. It was good. So put all of that out. So I went to a site in the industry, and it was a Florida site, but I downloaded their primary navigation menu, essentially. So I downloaded all of that and got their site structure, because they structured it well and it was organized, so it made it easier for me to borrow. So I downloaded that, and I sent it to Drew and said, hey, Drew, I need all of these posts created with surfer content, and just put it on this domain. And then I switched out. This company was based in Florida. The domain I bought was based in Texas. So I just did Control F, Texas, or Florida for Texas, Control F. And I switched out their brand name for my brand name. And he did, I think it was like 140 posts or something. Like, it's a pretty girthy site at the moment. So then it's like a hockey stick as soon as that starts indexing, because it's all interlinked. You've got all that on there. And then something magical happened when I did the Surf Shaker build. So I did 3,000 pages on top of that were Surf Shaker. So it was keyword plus city state. And I did 2 runs of those. So it's 1,500 a run for, I have the cities I like to do in rehab. I did that, instantly started indexing. So it's a site with a solid link profile. It's got the original content. It's got all of the base content. And then it's got all of these localized pages that are, it's not this, but it's drug rehab plus city state. And I started getting calls as soon as he started indexing. I was like, what the fuck? So I started searching for it. I hadn't realized those pages started indexing. Started searching for it, and it's like number 1, drug rehab plus city, number 1. And I'd go to another city, drug rehab plus city, number 1. Drug rehab plus city for a larger one, number 3. Okay, I'll take it. So it's paying for itself right now. So that's what I would do, maybe. And if you're not doing something that you can do localized, I would build out the base content plan. Even if you don't think you're ever going to rank for this stuff, Google is telling you that these sites are the authorities in the niche, and that's what they have on their site. So get that on your site first, even if it's AI generated content, and then go back and build out your content plan and start chipping away at that, building out your clusters. So that's next.
But Maeve's saying, how did I get all the old power back? So
did you rebuild the pages?
I hope she has rebuilt all the old posts.
Yeah, and make sure that they lined up. So I would go through and do that, and it should come back.
Just make sure all the links that are pointing to inner pages or your homepage or whatever, just make sure it all joins together, Maeve.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, make sure that your 301s are right. So
yes. But on to something else. Adobe Illustrator must be so jealous about this AI talk.
I never was fucking able to use Illustrator. I hated that thing. I couldn't figure it out.
I hate Adobe stuff, full stop. It's more complex than it needs to be.
I use Dreamweaver, but that's pretty simple.
Lee Bandoni, have you tried the new Microsoft Designer tool using AI to create social content?
I have not. I'll have to look into it.
I will have.
Does it create like HTML pages, WordPress, or whatever?
let us know, Lee, if you can. Nerdy is asking for ideas on what we can use ChatGPT outside of copywriting. How do we make more automation?
Organizing data is essentially what the content plan is doing. So organization, shit that you would content ideas is good too. Content structures. I know that's all related to content, but so is the
social media.
Social media.
Legal letters. Fucking
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could probably give someone, one of your staff, a disciplinary using ChatGPT, right?
Mhm.
Like, this is what this person's done. What's the procedure here? And can you write the letter for me? And I'm pretty sure it will churn out something. So it can literally be used for anything, Nerdy.
Yeah. Organizing data is the biggest thing that I've seen aside from just creating content, though. Dumping a bunch of data into it and telling it how you want it organized, and it'll spit out like essentially an Excel. It'll spit out a table. So
Live F1 fan. All this AI, yet no working YouTube view bots.
We're waiting on you, Live.
Yeah. Come on. Stop. You know what you need. You know what you want. Go make it. I'm pretty sure it will sell well if someone can
Make
master
it or take it.
Favorite PBN hosting? What do you do?
If you're going cheap, go microhost. If you're going expensive and pain in the ass, go different. Like just grab a bunch of different hosts. But we're moving all of our sites over to our own in-house network that incorporates AI. So that's all I can say about that at the moment.
I mean, there are other PBN specific hosting, Loudegg, which are out there. Just
Cloak hosting is another one. Yeah, any of those. It's just it can be a pain in the ass sometimes because of the way I run mine, because I run them like they're a money site, so I need them to be up so they can be generating revenue. And a lot of those smaller hosts are not as reliable.
There you go, Brad. You big tease.
You know
it. So Maeve has the content plan done. She's done about 1,100 posts, or about 1,100 posts to do for topical authority, but it's not ranking yet. It's been 4 weeks.
Are they indexing, and did you cluster the content together or just throw them up there, the 1,100 posts? I would see if they're indexing, though. You need to make sure they're indexing, of course.
Mikkel, how much content with how many data points are you using with SERPshaker per service page, and how much of it is duplicate?
I just use Spin Rewriter. So, I mean, it's fun. I'm seeing good results. I'm seeing good results recently. I went old school. So I grabbed, I curated an article. I lightly spun it with like a Quillbot, which is a better spinner in my opinion. You could probably use ChatGPT for that. Hey, rewrite this. Don't change these keywords. Posted it in SERPshaker. Put it out there. I did not spin it any further. So I just switched out every single page on the site is just the city and state switched out. And it's indexing well and ranking better than when I spin it, of course. So I think quality over it being non-duplicate is seeming to work at the moment, but that's a relatively newer test. So I'm not sure what you mean by data points though. But content, I'll use a pretty good size article. So I'll look at a national level, what's ranking. So if I'm going after drug rehab, I want to see, like, aside from SAMHSA and stuff like that, like the legit sites that are actually doing SEO on their on their page or on their site, not SAMHSA. They rank for everything just by posting stuff. I look at the type of articles that they're doing, and then I take that and I apply it to a local level. So I just add the geos in at that point.
Cool. Mikael has also went on to ask, what are some of the out of the box use cases for mass page generators?
Local lead gen, and you make a career out of it.
Yeah.
I know who's the guy that was on a month ago that had the course, the SearchShaker course or mass page course. I can't remember his name. But he uses it for affiliate, but I've just never done it for that. I'm not saying you can't. It's just I use it for local lead gen, and it's pretty straightforward.
I think local lead gen is a good, solid business model, though. Totally scalable. Your earnings are uncapped.
I like it.
There's no funny business. Well, there is funny business, but not as
there
much.
is, because I was about to have to fly to Florida and stab someone last night, but he'll be back. A little discrepancy on why are my numbers different than yours. I said, I used your system. He's like, well, no, you did. I said, yes, I did. And I sent him screenshots, and then he still wanted to argue.
Oh, what can you do?
Yep.
Chat GPT-4 is launching.
I heard that.
Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. I knew it was launching soon. I didn't know it was today.
Does that mean that's something else I need to pay for, or does my Chat GPT?
I would assume it would go over. Yeah, I don't know if they have an API for GPT-4 yet, though, released. So anything that you're using an API for, you still need to do 3.5. Is it?
I'm going to look right now and see what the fucking model is. Output in English, tone, writing style.
It's just more updated data, isn't it?
I hope so. Yeah, I don't need to do anything. So hopefully this should spit out more stuff.
Yeah. Better stuff, essentially, right? More. Yeah. I mean, theoretically, you should just have fewer mistakes, like where it just spits out incorrect information.
By the way, it now knows who I am.
Nice. They would have no fucking clue who I. Let me ask them. You got it brought up. Type in who is Brad Mabry.
Give us a second. Oh man, that's made me chuffed to bits. Someone knows who I am. But let me share my screen. Share screen. So there we go. You can see. Right. So I'm going to do who is Brad Mabry. Night Pierce.
Yep. Underground.
Night Pierce from the Rockies. Nah. But I'm on there. That's all that fucking matters.
You've been working hard on it.
But Nerdy saying drug dealers are shady in Florida.
They're shady most places, to be honest. So just people in Florida in general, though, are pretty shady, you know.
Really? I always had to. I've never been, but
Florida's wild. Like the discrepancy that you get, like the range of people you get, like redneck Larry the Cable Guy's from Florida, but then you get down to Miami and shit, and it's different level. So and then Orlando, of course, is just it's touristy. So it's nice though. We're going to Florida over the summer, this time on the Gulf side, so the water's a lot better over there. So 10-hour drive.
API going to ChatGPT-4. Daniel Croft says 8 p.m. UK time. There's an OpenAI live video about it. I'll let someone else watch it, and I'll take the snippet that they tell me. But how can I pass relevancy to the backlinks using Money Robot? Does Money Robot link to no index tag pass the relevancy to backlinks?
Potentially, but it wouldn't be worth enough to actively link to the no index tags. I mean, that used to be shit that I would try back in the day, and it's like you get tired of doing the shit because you don't see a boost from it. But the way I would pass relevance using Money Robot is to build up a relevant network and link to my tier ones. So, like I said in the past, we'll do an entity around it, like so all the entity style properties. And then Money Robot to those. So 2.0s using Money Robot to those. And then behind that, it's GSA to those. And you'll push your site metrics like crazy doing that, if that's what you're looking for. But that does add stability to the rankings. About 5-6 months down the road, you'll see a pop normally.
Stephen Buchanan, are you taking any supplements or vitamins, Brad?
Right now, because I kept getting sick, I'm taking like immune style supplements. So daily I'll take vitamin D, zinc, turmeric, vitamin C. What's the one I can? Elderberry. So I'll just pop all those at the same time, but nothing like the creatine or anything like that. Nothing like focused on testosterone. If you're looking to do that kind of shit, just eat more eggs, because that's a multivitamin and that'll boost your testosterone. Eggs, protein, get that in. But yeah, aside from that, I'm tired of being sick. So I'm like, well, this isn't going to make me sick anymore. So I just started taking those the last time I got sick. And then the kids brought home a virus and I got sick last week. So lucky it was 24 hours and didn't stick around.
Brad, another slap in the teeth for you. Bing doesn't know who you are either.
Damn.
So
Google Mike.
But Lee Bandoni is asking, what is your feeling?
God damn it. He's the managing partner of Ashburn Investments, LLC, LinkedIn. But then live Q&A with Mike Pierce and Brad Mabry. Yeah, Cashflow Digital comes up.
Fucking hell. You guys are doing nothing in terms of building your own brands.
I don't want to do this shit.
But Lee Bandoni is asking, what's your feelings on deepfake content? Undoubtedly will increase conversions, but does it affect your moral radar?
What's a moral radar? No, I don't care. My opinion is use it if you want. It does not bother me. I mean, if you're doing it to hurt someone else, that's when my moral radar would pop up. But if you're just using it, in your sales process and you don't think your sales process is going to hurt anyone, which if you think it will, then you probably shouldn't be selling that anyway. It wouldn't bother me.
There you go. We found out that Brad has no fucking moral fucking radar or moral compass.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually one of the scammier campaigns that I've ever run. I actually brought it back to normal, but the dude was like, we'll get I can't remember how much money it was, but it was per connect. I think it was $6 per connection. Like someone picks up the phone and hangs up, that counts as a connection. You just got to make sure your shit works on the back end. You know what it was? It's the scammiest thing that I've ever run. What would you assume?
What's the scammiest one I've ever run?
No, what do you think I would consider to be the scammiest one?
I'm trying to think. The worst one. What's the worst one? I don't think you've got a moral compass at all.
I still did it to just so you know. Yeah, what's the worst one I've done? I'm not gonna steal from people and shit like that. If I've even turned away clients before or felt bad for taking clients' money because I was involved in a partnership with other people. And I'm like, guys, we don't need to charge this month. No, we're gonna get their entire budget. Please, we don't they shouldn't be giving you money that is set aside for TV commercials and shit. But what's the one that you think that I've run? Mass page.
Mass page, yeah. Mass page.
Yeah, that'll narrow it down a little bit. So you know it's local. I took it local. A lot of people don't.
You took it local. Mass page. I mean, surely, I don't know.
$6 per connection. That is insane. Take that all day. You get $6 per fucking conversion on a freaking or form submit or call on Payday. The volume's just crazy. So I've been in Payday. That's not it. Rehab, of course. That's not it. What other ones have I done?
Porn?
Huh? No, I never did porn. Because it's hard to take that look unless you go for like. I did do some link building with a guy for fuck, what was that called? It was one of those, date locals in your area. Uber horny was the offer. No, it was malware removal. That is one of the scammiest fucking niches.
Yeah. I would have had that.
Yeah, that is the one. So I get into it, and this guy's like, "Yeah, there's all these freaking. It is crazy, like the rabbit hole, like that you can go down." So he was like, "I'm just gonna steal this guy's lander," and it was one of those like, "You've been infected, like the pop unders." So people send like mass like, just like shit traffic to it, like cheap traffic, and then they get a percentage call because like you get these old people. Like, and they can't close the shit. So it keeps popping up. So that's what he was trying to do. He's like, but the dudes that do that are so fucking smart. They bury the code for like, you think you've switched out like their number with your number, and you're fucking wrong because they got it like so many like fail safes in there that it'll just switch back. So then you're sending fucking traffic to a lander that you've copied, and you think that the people are seeing your number where they're really seeing the original number. You're like, fuck. So the dude's getting free traffic. That's fucking awesome. But I took it and I did malware removal, city state, all these different IT terms, and it looked like a legit like local computer company. And that's how I did it. I was cloaking over, but it wasn't necessarily like the pretty pages like I do now. But yeah, that was one of the spammier, like the grimier ones that I've actually looked at. And I mentioned doing it, like partnering with someone. He's like, no, that's outside my moral compass. I was like, no, not the way I'm doing it. He's like, no, I don't want to do it. So that's what made me think of it. But yes, I did not do the pop unders and shit. Like, you've been like back in the day when you're on the dial-up days when like before pop-up blockers and shit and all that shit kept popping up.
Brad Maybury Fitness.
Yeah, there's a dude in Tennessee, I think. He's like one of the bodybuilders.
That's clearly not you then, is it?
No, not at all. I couldn't do
it. Thought I'd get that dig in there. What are important things to keep in mind while looking for a lead gen site niche? What problems have you had in certain niches?
The biggest thing I could say, if you're looking for a new niche, is the depth of the niche. So how many tiers can you go down? How much content are you able to produce? Like personal injury would be a good example, because you've got personal injury lawyer. That's what everyone goes after. And you've got slip and fall lawyer, you've got dog bite lawyer, you've got car accident, truck accident, and you can go on and on and on and on and build out this huge network based on all these different types of lawyers. I look for something like that as opposed to, let me look up some just local campaigns. Locals where you because I do it local, of course. Like I don't even like locksmith. I know there's a ton of volume there for locksmiths, but like I get you've got New Key and shit like that. Like a siding contractor, I probably wouldn't pick that, or solar installation, because like how deep can you go into that niche? So I would just look at niche depth and how much can I dig into it.
Do you give a shit about it being like a gutter cleaner or a locksmith or some low ticket item? Have you run into problems with that before?
No, most of those, the low ticket items that people are still in, you make it up in volume. So like payday, we used to run payday, and like the amount of fucking calls that you get is just like nonstop. Your fucking call router, whoever you're using, so CallRail account is going to just be blowing up. You got to make sure that you have a hefty count there. But yeah, it makes up for it. So some niches are better than others. Some niches I still don't think make sense, but if you can make it up in volume, then that doesn't matter.
See, it depends where you are, Lee, as well. You know, certainly here in the UK, I think that the lower ticket items, guys will just not pay for a lead for. And that's just my experience. You know, certainly roof repairs, gutter cleaning guys, they don't want to give you shit. They want it all for free.
Roof repair won't?
Yeah.
Huh.
Even though
Roofers will pay up here.
dude, even though that could potentially turn into a reasonably big job,
Well, the problem, not shitting on blue collar workers, but some of those roof guys and like mobile detailers and shit like that, they're just like good old boys. They don't understand, what we're trying to do. So you're not going to pay for something that you don't know. So. Or they think I've had it in the past where it's like you get a roofer on board for like a pretty good size contract, and he's all on board and everything, and then he's asking like when you're going to update his social media and when you're going to do this, and he's sending you website fixes and shit. I'm like, bro, I'm just the SEO. Hire a designer, hire a social media manager. I just do SEO. Well, I thought you were going to do everything for this price. Read the fucking proposal, read the contract. I never said anything about like any of this shit. So it's even if you make it clear for them up front, they will not listen. They'll hear what they want to hear, and then they'll get upset, and it's all your fault, right? Not his.
Oh man. Thomas Oldham has a strong expired domain, but it's been offline for about 4 years. Do you think I should hit the old backlinks with tier 2s?
I would, yeah.
And or CTR to try and restore their value?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to hurt, and it's just going to solidify it. I think Mike ran a test recently where all he did was a tier 2, just niche edits to his current tier 1, and like he saw a hockey stick, what do you call it, a rank boner, where it goes straight up. Yeah, he saw that. So yeah, it's just tiering where there hasn't been tiers yet, then it most of the time helps.
Ranking boner's a better way than a hockey stick. Come on, man.
I had a client that was always asking for the hockey stick, so it's stuck in my mind.
Let's ask the audience. Put in the comments, guys.
I like the term rank boner much better, but
rank boner or hockey stick.
Yeah, I'll give you a hockey stick.
But Lee is saying it all went back to PC. Back in the day, nobody cared about creative marketing. Used to love pumping out HostGator referrals with the $1 million promise, $125 conversions all day long.
I had I actually ran that niche for a while, but I was cloaking. So I wish I hadn't cloaked as much as I did because it gets hit a lot sooner. But yeah, web hosting companies in city state, and you can make money off hosting. But yeah, that's a solid. Most of them offer a pretty solid affiliate commission. So.
Nerdy Romero says, find a niche that you can get paid for easily.
Yeah. And also on that, I talked about the content depth that you can go into. Are there multiple people paying that you can have lined up in case one falls off? You need to have a tiered pay structure as well. It's important because when one goes down and you don't have another, you're like, oh, fuck, so which has happened to me. So
ZD Electrical paying $6 to $12 a click at the moment.
What kind of conversion rate you getting for that? It's dollars, right? Like pounds? Like that's whole. He's electric, so
He's
yeah.
the UK, so I think that's
Yeah.
Great British pounds.
Yeah. So making sure it's not cents.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's got to be a pretty good depth in electrical, I would think.
Yeah.
So.
Eric McDonald, what's the best route to get a new website, mobile stylist, with ranking in a specific location? Citations, niche edits, backlinks?
Skipped a step. Content. Make sure you have plenty of content that positions you as the authority. Doesn't have to be fantastic content, especially in local, but you need to have a pretty, if you want to stand out and make it easier on yourself going forward, you want to have a pretty good amount of content on the site that's all about the subject matter. And then you can do your citations, entity stuff, typical entity stuff, along with the citations. And then I would probably, if you need to, niche edits. But you shouldn't need, you could throw a PR out there for local, but they go away eventually.
Yeah. I think it's, some people say 3 months, but I think it's between 6 and 9 months your PR disappear, all that syndicated stuff. But yeah, do something, Eric. It's better than doing nothing. But citations, edits, it
Content
depends
first.
Where that specific location is as well. But
I like to build out, even if I only, or not if I only serve, but like especially for service type businesses, I want to make sure that I've got all my different services, and then compound those with the service location. So if you have 5 services in 5 different locations that you can target, or 10 different locations, you've got 25 to 50 content pieces that you can do there. So
yes. And no problem at all, Eric. Guys, we do have 18 minutes left, so keep your questions coming in. It's not been that bad, actually, given that we're an hour late.
I figured no one would be here today. I think that happened last time, didn't it? Maybe it's because it's spring forward and not fall back. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the one in the winter that
fucks us. Yeah.
But Lee has another question. Have you ever tried to do more than just flip the lead and build tools around for high-ticket items like Invisalign, i.e. convert the lead into the chair with tiered commission?
You just got to make sure you can track it all the way down. We had a waterfall type setup that we were setting up for a client doing payday. So the way the waterfall comes in is it's like a bidding system. So it comes in, and then it goes to everyone, and they can, smash or pass. And then if no one picks it up at that higher price, then it'll go down and go down and go down, all in the background. So you could do that. I have spoken with an Invisalign style guy, but yeah, I'd much rather sell the lead, just because from an accounting perspective and a management perspective, then I can focus on the SEO and keep cranking it out, and I own the assets, and then go down the road. But if you want to, if you know how to set up the back end for that, and you have people that you can trust, and you can have access to their whatever they're using for client management, then yeah, you can make more money. But getting paid is what I worry about with that. Making sure I get paid, because a rev share is shit if they take the lead, get the revenue, and they're like deuces, So.
Cool. Is it possible to have the replay?
It'll be on YouTube, right? Yeah, he's on LinkedIn, but yeah.
Yeah. So Arthur, watch the replay. As soon as this finishes, it will be live on YouTube for you to watch at your own convenience. So
like and subscribe,
or as my son says, subscribe. If you found me, that's what he always says. I don't know.
start a YouTube channel too?
Yeah. No, he wants one. He's not got one yet.
My old, if you ask him what he's going to be when he grows up, it's YouTube.
Yeah,
So.
they all want to be, but the thing is, this YouTube's caused havoc. Because there's these little guys that just open up presents and shit.
Yes.
He wants all the same presents that they've got, and
Yep.
now he wants
Ryan.
to be a YouTuber, and also he wants all these fucking toys that these little guys are opening.
Can you write off the toys if you buy them for him, and then record him opening them, and then post it, even if it's just a shitty video? Why don't you just do that and write off all of his toys?
That's a good idea.
Write off Christmas.
Yeah, that would be
top 5 presents you can get your wife to make sure you get laid tonight. Could be one of your videos.
Oh man. Anyway, Eric, in terms of the content, I'm using software SEO to analyze the competition's content and their rank content. Their content in terms of copy seems light.
I don't like it. Yeah, it's.
So if that's making the competition's content look light, should he still be going for longer form content?
Oh, I thought you meant the content generation ability within Surfer seemed like. Yeah, I would probably stick with the market, but like I said, if I'm in the niches that I'm in, if I do an article that's at the national level, like drug rehab, if you want to rank for drug rehab, that's going to have to be a pretty substantial article. So in that case, when I take that local, it's going to be way more. Was he asking about the local stuff earlier, like more content? Yeah, I would probably still add more content. Yeah, just kick the shit out of them, to be honest. Cover every type of on-page entity that you can, every service on the homepage, and then have separate service pages as well, and make that your hub. Just think about like I did a local rehab site here, and it's ranking for everything. And what I did was like I would go for addiction treatment, and I would have that all built out, and that was like the primary keyword. And you think about the on-site clusters, like you take a group of articles and you put them on like an authority site. You can do it for a local site too. It's the same thing. You just have your site is the one cluster. So build out that cluster, link them all back, interlink them, and then it'll rank. Especially if you're doing GMB alongside it, because then it's going to start picking up. This site mentions this. This site mentions this. You're going to rank for way more keywords that way.
That kind of rolls into Thomas's question. When doing local mass page sites, are you getting a GMB for each location, or do they still get results without GMBs?
They'll still get results without GMBs. I go so wide with it. I would have to have hundreds of thousands of GMBs, which if I had those, it'd be awesome. It's just hard to get them in that kind of quantity now. But yeah, so if I would probably attach a GMB to the homepage of each site, if at all possible. And then if you can attach it to some of the internals, you're good. But I use just like a lander and make it like I was just describing for local, make it like a smaller site, but it's just like the site is the hub, and then you're going to start pulling for it. Make it even more niche down.
Nice. Lee used to work in drug rehab marketing. Should be in jail now for how we get some of those NHS and government links.
Please don't tell us, so in case the government comes asking about it, Lee.
Yeah.
We know nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. That can be a dirty niche too, but
every niche is dirty in its own right.
It can be, yeah. Luckily, it's not as bad as like the stories of people in pharma, and you get ranked, and then they just hack your site. They're like, "Oh, a new competitor," and then just fuck you.
Just don't enter their space.
That's right. Yeah. The pharma mafia.
Yeah. But folks, 10 minutes left. Please do give us a like and subscribe on the video.
I gotta be out right on time too, because I gotta go pick up the kids.
Yeah.
There'll be no dilly-dallying after this one.
Yes.
The time is the time.
Plus, I've got slides to make for tomorrow. I'm speaking in Belgium tomorrow.
You're doing the circuit right now, aren't you? Where were you just at?
Dubai.
Yeah. When you come to the US?
In 2 weeks.
All right. For which one?
So there's one in Austin and there's one in Arizona. And I can't remember which one's which, but I'm going to both.
Austin's Millionaire Mansion. Which one's Arizona? Oh, is that spring training?
Yeah.
Okay.
So going to both of those. So
should be fun. The Millionaire Mansion, is that just a party? Like that's what it seems like. Like that's what it's. I'm sure there's. I mean, the quality of people there is solid. It seems like, but I don't know a ton of them. But
it would be really unfair to sit there and just say it's a piss up. To be fair, don't get me wrong. I think they get the balance of piss up and information down to a T. But you know, when I was last there, you know, Steve Toth was there, Ted was there,
yeah,
and a whole bunch of other very, very smart guys. Kyle Roof.
Yeah. Like I said, it was. Yeah, if you're pissing up with those kind of guys, you're going to learn something. Like just playing pool with Ted and drinking beer, you're going to learn more SEO than most of the people out there.
Yeah, it's how you learn it, and I think they try and have the fun element in amongst the the kind of information. So yeah, we did sit in a room, do a presentation. You did have so many opportunities to sit and talk.
Does everyone present there?
Nah. Well, they've got like 10, maybe 10 people presenting. I chose not to present this time. I just want to go and chill out. As I say, I know most of the people there. Am I going to be saying anything different that I haven't already told these people? So I think if someone's got something cool to talk, they can stand up and talk about it. But I don't think it's forced. But they obviously want 10 to be dropping some bombs.
Is it 2 days or 3?
3, I think. It's sore in the old liver. So I've got that, and then going to go and check out Terry Samuel's event as well, which is obviously a similar type of event, similar in size, similar standard of people. And again, I've not been to SEO spring training, but heard a lot of good things about it. So
yeah,
I think it's they take you out, you know, doing a bit of shooting or whatever it might be out there. I'm not sure what Terry's got planned.
They went to the baseball game the first year, which would be cool. The Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So shit like that. It's just getting that balance rather than sitting through presentation after presentation after presentation for
mind-numbing.
Fuck that.
Like towards the end, like you might as well just have a clown up there, you know, because like no one's fucking listening.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when they put me up.
That's normally the slots I get, dude. When everyone's falling asleep, stick Craig up. No one will.
I'll wake them up. Well, you're popping those CBD gummies, right? Or the weed gummies, THC gummies.
Oh well, I pretended to.
I remember. Yeah.
But the girl was freaking out. She's just like, "What the fuck?"
Be high for a week.
Yeah. But Arthur, if you have a website that has been running for a few years and has 150 to 200 blog posts, what would you have done to increase the Google ranking and traffic? Is it better to push with new content, or is it better to optimize old content and try and optimize the low-hanging fruit?
I would go in and try and expand the keyword set for each page on there. So either myself or a VA type of person or a hire would go in and make sure each of those are optimized for the primary term, meaning that they have the correct on-page entities. Are they optimized correctly on page? Just make a checklist for everything. Get that done, and then get them re-indexed, and you should see a push off of that. If it's been 2 years, there's no way that they're perfectly optimized at this point. So yes, I do that because one, you're going to see the biggest gains, like percentage gains from that, as opposed to putting a new article in the index and getting it scored initially and stuff like that. But I would do that. I would make sure my internal linking structure is correct. So do that. So between those two, you should see. I mean, I've seen as high as 100% for a new client that we came in, redid all of their pages, not like deleted the content, re-added it, but just fine-tuned the content that was there, resubmitted it to index, and boom, like 120% increase in the first like month. So yeah, definitely go through your old stuff first before spending money.
Yeah, I think, Arthur, my advice to people is, people think just adding new content after new content after new content is the right way forward. Optimize what you've got and push it as hard as you can. If anything, people prune their content and get rid of some of the shit that doesn't perform.
Combine it too, sometimes.
Yeah. So think of it that way. And there's always that famous 80-20 thing that everyone says. 80% of your traffic will come through 20% of those blog posts.
It's true.
So focus on them and make them better and all that kind of good stuff. And like Brad says, try and expand the keyword range on said pages, and then do everything else you can to make sure that the people stick around on it. But on that note, Brad, I know you're tight for time, so we will wrap up and say goodbye because it's on the hour. But guys, please do like and subscribe, and we will be back next week at the same time. Catch you later, everyone.